This is the Tier 7 Blitz Nation Collector Heavy, the Lightbringer. It is a vehicle that has just been introduced in the brand new Vortex of Souls event, to where you would have to purchase the standard booster pass and grind your way up to level 20 in order to get your hands on the vehicle. So, once we go and take a look at the stats on it, on the other hand, it has 162mm of frontal turret armor and 100mm thick of frontal hull armor. And this is what the current armor profile looks like. There's a lot of troll spots that occur on the vehicle, including this little shielded spot right here on the upper plate that is upwards of 237 space and about 509 in general. The lower plate, on the other hand, is 166, and then some portions of the upper plate are about 140 in most cases as well. The turret, on the other hand, is actually pretty strong, upwards of 190 to 206, and then you have little bits right here of the roof that can't really be overmatched. There's two little tiny spots right here that which you can, upwards of 157, but when I run in the heats, they open up to 213mm thick against 220mm of heat pen. Turret-wise as well, there are cheeks that open up on the side of the gun mantlet as well, upwards of 180 in most cases. And yeah, that's pretty much all there is to it, just in terms of the weak spots. So once the vehicle is using its gun depression, it's kind of the same as pretty much a BZ-75. You can see that the cheeks open up even more instead of thickening them, which is actually really strange in terms of that. So anyways, once we go ahead and make our way towards the side of the vehicle, the side of the turret is 84 to 69, and then the full-on side is 74. And then for the rear, the back of the turret is 67 to 68, and then the full-on rear where the engine deck is located is only 37, in which this case, HEs can cut through slightly these two little spots right here, as it is yet again another very weird design at that. For the gun, this vehicle actually carries a very solid gun, carrying 2,105 damage per minute with a 7.7 second reload time. Penetration factors are actually fairly solid as well, having 184mm of standard pen, 249 on the premium, and 52 on the high explosive. Combined with the average damage being of 270 on the standard, 230 on the premium, and 340 on the high explosive. Combined as well with a 3.9 second aiming time with 0.269 dispersion. And then finally for maneuverability, it goes 33 forward and 11 in reverse, and it has a power to weight, a very solid one at 16.6 along with that. For a Blitz Nation type of vehicle, you would expect it to have the tin can and the other provision along with it as well, which is present within every one of the Blitz Nation or Hybrid Nation, with however way that you want to pronounce it in terms of that. So here we are in our first battle. Let's see, they have a 45 TP, they have a Blasterite, Churchill 8, and that looks like to be all they have in terms of their heavies. I actually like that cool effect when the battle starts, that giant glowing effect that occurs on the top portion of the turret. That's actually really sweet. So let's go ahead and see how we can fare well in our first battle. We're just going to go ahead, hop on, and go to the right side over here. Hopefully we do have some bits of support coming with us. Yep, we got both KVs coming with us. That's really good. So let's see what ends up poking on out till then. Alright. When I first saw this tank, by the way, it kind of looks to be in the shape of a BZ-75. I know a lot of people can't really mistake it for that purpose, but at the same time, it doesn't really have stats that can compete with the BZ-75. Not like that hard-hitting gun, but it still has very solid pen factors at that. So, there's a 45. We got the Churchill 8 coming on through as well. So let's get a tap for 280 into his vehicle. Let's back on up, and it looks like the 40 is going to get a tap into us as well. That's the downside for not really having bits of armor here and there. So we're just going to continue backing on up, as we did take a couple bits of our hit points out of our vehicle from these two enemies. So I would appreciate it if this... the KV2 gets a nice tap into him. We can't overmatch or not, apparently enough. Oh, well, it was guaranteed to be a pen. I don't know why Wargaming counted it as a bounce. That's actually kind of rat. So, let's go ahead and do it again. There we go. At least it counted it as a pen that time. Jeez, Wargaming, where's that been all along? I don't get what the concept of this game is at times when you're 100% guaranteed to pen a lot of shots, and then it just does that to you. So, I want to be careful because I don't know what's off in the back over there. Looks like nothing at the moment. We got the 45 TP. Looks like that he is possibly going to finish off our guy. 239 hit points out of his vehicle. KV2 is going to come on out now. Let's see if he's going to finish him off. Oh, well, the KV-1S finishes him off. That's really good. So let's go ahead and move on forward. We got the blaster right over here. Let's see if we can get a tap into him real quick for 291 hit points out of him. Reloading once again. Let's go ahead and see if we can get another tap into this guy real quick. And he is facing his rear, so that way we can be able to spot him without a hassle. Alright, well, we got the Su-100. It looks like that he is going to Kerblunker me. But before he does, I'm going to go ahead and get 298 out of him. So, the Stritzfong is off in the back behind us as well, so I want to be careful about him. Actually, I'm going to turn my tank over towards him, so I'm going to quickly, or miss the shot. That's unfortunate. So, I'm going to use the Jagdpanzer as cover, so let's go ahead and not get a shell into him just yet, but I think he is going to poke again. Yep, he is. Come on, Stinker. I know you want to. Well, all that's left is just me and the KV-2. This is pretty much going to be a very tragic loss at that. So we do get a shell into the Stritzfong, and he bounces us, which is good. So let's go ahead and wait once again. Oh, KV gets finished off now. There's the Stritzfong, and he bounces yet again as he's hitting the angled spot on my vehicle. We also got the Hazard bowsing on up towards us. Let's go ahead and get a quick tap for 280 into him. And yeah, this is our unfortunate defeat. Well, there's really nothing that we can do to counter any of these guys, so let's go ahead and quickly get a tap into the Su-100, and yeah, that is our unfortunate downfall right there. We still managed to do 2,700 damage, and it wasn't our fault that we really had nothing that we could possibly do apart to counter any of those vehicles. So, I still can't complain. We 100% managed to do top on the team in this one, and what a team this was. That is a very solid start at that. Let's go ahead and hop on into our second battle, see if we can put up a better result at that. So the armor does seem to work only when it wants to, especially when it's angled. You saw right there that we used the dead soldier to the best of our ability, and that Stritzfong was luckily enough getting bounces on our vehicle. So at times you can get a lot of bounces occasionally. Not all the time, it's not like guaranteed. Even though that this is a rat heavy at that, you still can be overmatched quite easily. Turret-wise, it's really only if you know how to fire premium at that, so. Anyways, here we are going into game number 2. Let's see what they got. They have a, oh my god, they have a force switch. Bruh. The most rat Halloween tank in the freaking game. I think we should have pen factors that could probably cut through it. I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see. So anyways, let's go ahead and move on over here then. We barely got any support coming along with us except for 2 others, so we're just gonna kind of wait and see how this plays out. But we got the Hellcat off on the right, so, and my gun apparently just did the thing again, so unfortunately enough. So let's go ahead and poke on out maybe right here for the time being. Maybe they would have some guys poking on out, or possibly not. I could also check right over here, see if there's anybody crossing maybe. Well, that doesn't happen to be the case. It looks like all their enemies decided to go over to the right. And look at that. We already have another ally cleared. We love teammates that don't even know what the heck they're doing, driving their tanks out and YOLOing into the enemy spawn at that. So, let's just go ahead and I am going to get out of the base real quick. So, let's see. I did see that somebody was possibly going to poke on up over here. Alright, well, they went down. That's good. So, I'm going to go ahead and move myself along through over here then. Well, we got the AT-7 right there. Oh, and we also got the Sherman Firefly right there, too. Alright, well, that was a low roll. Oh, I was running heats, that's why. That explains a lot. So, anyways, Sherman's gonna bail. That's alright. We got the AT-7 now out in the open. Let's go ahead and see if we can overmatch his side, or just carelessly miss the shot. Okay. Well, that's the beauty of having a 7-second reload time, is that we could just get another tap in for 250 damage. Alright, so now the AT-7 is eyeballing us. I'm going to kind of get in a scrape right here just in case. Yep, he bounces that, of course, so let's aim in on his hatch carefully. There we go, 273 into his vehicle, so looks like the Sherman is going to poke on out maybe here too. Maybe we can get an AG into him in case if he pokes. Oh, but the AT-7's also poking. Oh, there's the Sherman. There's a 335 HE into the side of his vehicle, and luckily enough that we did manage to get that shell as it did hit in the right spot, so let's see if this little stinker's gonna poke on out again. Is he gonna be that stupid, bro? It looks like that he is. Alright. Well, this team is doing sincerely well once again, so I must say that I am quite ecstatic that my teams are just doing this, apparently. Alright, well, we got the Hellcat. Let's see. Unfortunately, missing that. Welp. We also got the AT7. It looks like he's going to poke on out, too. We got his hatch exposed. We can also not pen that spot, surprisingly enough. Yep, this is another loss at that. Well, welcome to World of Tank Blitz, ladies and gentlemen, where you will have the most rat teams in the history of this godforsaken game. Well, we get another tap into the AT7, so we can just wait for him to poke on out towards us. We can get another hatching shell into him at that. So, there we go. 236 shell, baiting another shell off from him in the process. So let's pop on our adrenaline. And let's go ahead and quickly finish you off. Beautiful. That's the beauty of having very solid heat pen at that, too. We also got the Predator that looks like he's tunneling us as well. So let's quickly back on up. That's the downside, unfortunately, to having 11's kilometer reverse. So anyways, reloading once again. I don't know why this guy is not going for us at the moment. So there's a 232 tap into him. Alright, so we got the Su-100. Looks like he's coming on through towards us, too. Forest reaches over behind us, too. I don't really know if he can see me at the moment. We also got the Su. Alright, Stinker, are you going to poke? Well, you're not going to, but I am going to get a tap myself into you, and your teammate blocks you from getting that shell out just in time. So, Predator's not eyeballing me, so let's go ahead and get the finishing clear into him. Oh, and it looks like that the Forest Witch is coming on through as well, and I don't even know how we got that tap into me, which is kind of rat. So, well, it looks like that we can pen him. Alright, that's really good. So, or it looks like that we might come back in this battle, which is actually very surprising indeed. So let's go ahead and get the tap into the Forest Witch right there. The Su-100 is going to kill himself. And let's go ahead and see if we can finish this guy off. Lickety splits. There we go. Okay. Well, we did manage to come back in this one, and surprisingly enough, we did manage to hold off the enemies very well, apart from my two other teammates that were still alive, and we did manage to kill all 7 of them at once. So there's a 3,000 damage game, destroying 3 off in the process, pulling out a second class in this one, and doing top on the team once again, and holy cow. This should have been a loss, and my team didn't really do that well. Wow, their enemy team didn't really do that well apart from that either. Alright, hopefully we don't get rat teams for both sides. Let's just go ahead and see if we can put up just as good as our performance in our third game. So the armor did slightly work for the most part. We were at an angle to where that the Forest Witch did have a bit of trouble trying to cut through my turret. Really the only way that he could have is if he overmatched the top part. So I know the Forest Witch has very solid pen at that too, and very rat armor, but surprisingly enough, 249 is just good enough in order to cut through it. So anyways, here we are in game number 3. Let's see. They have another Hazard, they have a KV2, and a T29 in terms of their heavies. Alright, so let's go ahead and mosey on through over here. Let's see, do I got some support? Alright, we got our KV2 coming along with us. That's always ideal to have some bits of support here and there. Let's just see how we can do. Alright. Maybe we can spot some guys pecking themselves off right along through this gap right here. Probably not. We could also just go on through here. Maybe get some taps into some vehicles that are possibly going to poke on out over here. So I'm going to kind of go in a scrape just in case. Alright, so it looks like we got 4 of their enemies spotted off towards the side. I don't really know what they would have going to poke on out over there. Well, the KV2 gets a rack into somebody, fortunately enough. We got the T71 off in the back. Let's get a quick tap for 269 into his vehicle. Alright, that is a very solid hit into him. So, let's see. We got the KV2 as well. Nice tap for 263 into his vehicle. This is where this gun can be sincerely powerful paired with the levels of DPM that it's able to carry. Alright, well, we got the T29 off in the back. We got the Cromwell as well. We got the KV2 once again. He misses his shell, but unfortunately I missed my shell too. So, let's go ahead and get a bounce from somebody. It looked like it was the Cromwell B at that. So it looks like these 2 enemies are going to poke on downwards. So let's see if we can possibly deal with them at the moment. We got the Cromwell B. Let's go ahead and get a finishing tap into you. We got the T71. It looks like he's moseying on back in his original spot. So let's go ahead and see how we can do against this guy. He is going to poke on through up, or he's going to get cleared by the Su-100Y. All right. So, well, this is going to be an absolute steamroll at that. So let's just go ahead and turn our attention over towards these enemies as the CS44 is dealing with the MT25. All right, well, we got the T29 spotted. Let's go ahead and quickly get a tap for 293. Beautiful shot into the side of his vehicle. So let's reload once again. We're going to plop on our adrenaline real quick. And let's get the finishing clear into you. And now all that's left is the enemy Saint Emile. Alright, so let's go ahead and mosey on through. His tank is fully unexposed out in the open. Can we get an HE in his lower plate? Unfortunately not, but he does manage to bounce that. So he is still fully unexposed out in the open. So let's go ahead and get a very rat bounce at that, unfortunately enough. He bounces us yet again, so let's go ahead and reload. And there we go, 269 into his vehicle. This is where this tank can be really good sometimes with that 7-second reload time paired with the DPM that it has, especially for the pen. It's actually fairly solid. You rarely ever see tanks with this much pen that has almost as much as a Su-152 at almost 250 millimeters. Well, in this one, we didn't really put up that good of a performance, but still, it's a victory at that. 1379 destroying 2 along with that. And doing third on the team. First two battles, we did top, and then, unfortunately enough, this was our unfortunate downfall with that. But I can't really complain. The Lightbringer is a fairly solid vehicle with very solid capabilities that are going for it. I especially do recommend to pick this vehicle up, as the DPM levels paired with the amount of pen that it carries, along with the provisions, which are actually fairly solid on every hibernation tank, can really contribute towards the stats and giving it some fairly solid ones at that as well. So hopefully you guys did end up enjoying today's video, and if you did, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel, and make sure to turn on those bell notifications while you're at it so you don't miss out on any new videos, and I hope to see you guys in the next one. Peace out, y'all.